I was saying, Joy Taylor, every dog has its day. And since I'm a big dog, I've got 2 days.
Okay.
So now.
You just called yourself a dog?
Yeah, I'm a dog. Yeah, I'm a big dog, a big one.
Kevin Durant is 6'11", who can pull up from 40. Okay. This brother is on that level. I'm talking about offensively.
Do you think you're better than Jarrell Revis is right now?
I'm better than you.
And we're live on the phone lines. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Low Down podcast episode. I'm your host, Mark Brown, as always, and I have a special guest, a very special guest on the show today. And I already know you guys are wondering, just a couple of days from now will be Super Bowl Sunday. I know it's already almost here. It's like this past season went by, just went within the blink of an eye. And this guest, his name is Allan Bell. He's a CBS Sports Line contributor, and he's a very great guy. He tweeted out some stuff during the Kobe Bryant's tragedy just a few days back. And that's how I was able to get a hold of him. And he already made my day before we even started talking. So, Allan, I just want to say welcome to the show.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you saying that. It's an honor to get to know you and to be on with you, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem at all. So starting off, man, so how are you feeling about this? I mean, this is the first time we've seen, it's been a while since we've seen the Patriots not representing the AFC. Because I remember seeing this tweet just maybe a couple of weeks ago where ever since, this is actually the second time since 2002 where there is not a quarterback named Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, or Ben Roethlisberger that are not representing the AFC. Because the last time we saw that happen was back in 2011, the 2011 season with Joe Flacco with the Ravens, and now Patrick Mahomes with the Chiefs. So it's been that long. So it's an 8-year gap between the two. And so in between that gap was either Brady or Manning or Roethlisberger. It's crazy.
It's incredible, man. And you look at I think it's one of those things take a step back. We're going to look at 20 years and look at what the Patriots have done, in their run from, 01 to whenever it ends. I mean, they went to 8-9 straight AFC championships. I mean, it's just incredible, man. The run that they've had. So yeah, I mean, obviously, it's kind of nice, and I'm not saying that, against any Patriots fans out there. It's nice to have somebody, different in there. And you look at this game, man, I think this is going to be one of the best Super Bowls that we've had in a long time because, it seems like whatever Team A does, Team B has the perfect counterpunch to it, right? So you look at, what the 49ers do. We saw them against Green Bay. We saw them all year. They run the ball, play aggressive defense. They get up on you. And once they get up 7, 10, 13 points, that's when their defense really pins its ears back. The defensive line gets after you, and they play more aggressive. And they kind of just bully you, right? It's just tough to come back on that team. But counterpoint that, you got Patrick Mahomes, who this year alone, as the Chiefs starter, he's 4-0 this year when the Chiefs are down by 10 or more points. But that's incredible, right? So it's you can keep going down the list of every positional group. They all have that perfect counterpunch to what the other team does. It's just going to be a phenomenal Super Bowl.
Oh, it really is. And then you have some brilliant offensive minds in Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid going at it. And this is Andy Reid's second trip to the Super Bowl. I mean, he goes back to 2004 with Donovan McNabb when he was coaching the Philadelphia Eagles, and they fell short. So this is the perfect time for him, to redeem himself. I know he's eager to do it. I mean, he's been coaching for over 20 years, and Kyle Shanahan's a young guy, but he has a lot of expertise. I mean, his father was a great football expert, especially being a coach back in the day. So knowing that Kyle Shanahan has that in his genes, this is definitely going to be like an arm wrestling match. I feel like it's going to be a close game. And like you said, both teams have the counter. They both have the counter punch for each play that they run. Because if you really look at it, everybody's talking about the 49ers defense, how phenomenal they've been all season, and then you look at the Chiefs, they're one of the most prolific offenses in the entire. Actually, they're arguably the most prolific offense in the entire league this year. And what I'm worried about is the run game from the 49ers because you have three solid running backs that have been dominant all season. You have Raheem Mostert, Matt Breida, and Tevin Coleman. All three of those guys have been just dominant in the backfield. Yeah, I mean, they have, man. And, I mean, shoot, think about this, going to how good the 49ers, rushing attack has been. They're in the Super Bowl, and their quarterback has 208 passing yards the entire playoffs, right? That, we've never seen anything like that. That's how good they run the ball. And Kyle Shanahan, man, for anybody out there who hasn't really watched the 49ers much this year, I've seen every single game this guy has coached. Watch what he does. Watch the beauty of the play calling that he has. He sets up plays
through the run that are going to be runs, right? Like, I mean, it's beautiful the way that he does it. They're going to attack every single square inch of the field, both vertically, horizontally. I mean, you name it. They get you out in space. They attack the center of your defense. It's just incredible. But yeah, I mean, and then look at the Chiefs' rush defense, right? It started off this year obviously not doing very well, but their last 8-10 games, they've really picked it up. And I'll say this, man, I'm here in Nashville, so I see the Titans a lot. Go to that AFC Championship game. I mean, nobody was stopping Derrick Henry. Nobody could do anything. And the Chiefs stopped him to 69 yards, right? So, I mean, they can play that rush defense. They've got a defense as well. Good secondary, obviously, with Tyrann Mathieu back there. They could play. And then, the X factor, Patrick Mahomes, man. Like, this guy is what he's been doing ever since he came in the league and became a starter is, arguably the best quarterback in the league. He's probably going to sign a $200 million contract either this offseason or the next. And like you said, in terms of the play calling, so the Chiefs' last three games, Patrick Mahomes has 22 carries, 22 rushes, right? 22 is the same amount that he had in his first 9 games this season combined. So him, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, they have figured something out to where it's almost like they have so many weapons in Tyreek and Cole Hardeman and Travis Kelce that you just don't have enough guys to get to stop Patrick Mahomes, and he can run the ball on you. I mean, it's just the chess match between these two teams is just going to be just incredible for 60 minutes. It's just going to be phenomenal.
Oh, it really is, and I feel like this is definitely going to generate a bunch of the ratings, especially because seeing the Patriots every season, people were complaining about how the ratings really wasn't increasing because most fans in the NFL, if you're not a Patriots fan or anti-Patriots fan, then you'll still watch the Super Bowl for the heck of it because if you're a football fan, you'll watch it. But it just seems like the ratings just didn't really change that much over the past few years. But seeing these two teams, especially two young QBs, go at it, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo has ties with the Patriots. The crazy thing is that 3 years ago when the Patriots were playing the Falcons in the Super Bowl, Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett were both backups to Tom Brady. And to see these guys both emerge as starters, and then Jimmy Garoppolo being, pretty much an all-pro QB, I mean, that just tells you something right there how much, really, there's not that much talent. There's not that much, usually the guy in front of you on the depth chart is not that much more talented than the guy that's behind him. So it's really close. And then the guy behind you arguably could be better. That's the thing. That's the beauty of professional sports. That you usually, whenever you see a guy that's second, number 2, or number 3 on the depth chart, when they get a chance to start, most of the time, they usually just put up some numbers that people don't expect, and then to see that is just really incredible. And then, I mean, just because not only Patrick Mahomes or Jimmy Garoppolo, but I noticed that there's going to be a big matchup between George Kittle and Travis Kelce, two of some of the greatest tight ends in the league.
Oh yeah, and we were talking about this at the office the other day. We've never had a tight end in the Super Bowl win MVP. It's never happened. If it's ever going to happen, it could be this year between, like you just said, George Kittle and Travis Kelce. I mean, they're both, obviously, the two best, tights in the league at what they do. But, in a game like this to where, and think about it, right? The Super Bowl is a different style of game, just because, one, there's so many more commercial breaks. Your offense, if you're, a 49ers type or even the Chiefs where you have 6, 7, 8 minute drives, right? Like your offense is going to be halted because there's many more breaks. And plus both teams are coming off a bye week too, right? So this is a game where both, tight ends could really make a big difference, especially if the quarterback's being pressured. Look for Travis Kelce, to have a huge impact for Patrick Mahomes there. I mean, it's just down the list. Both of these teams have stars everywhere. They have talent everywhere. Both head coaches are phenomenal. They've got great offensive play calling. They've got two of the best defensive coordinators in the league with Robert Saleh at San Francisco and Steve Spagnuolo with Kansas City. I mean, it's just gonna be great. And everyone that sat through that Patriots-Rams 13-3 game last year, this one could be quite different, man. We could get a lot of scoring Sunday.
Oh, we definitely could. And then another thing I wanted to bring up was like Tyreek Hill being the fastest guy in the NFL. You already know that, defensively they're going to try to either double team this guy. You already know that Richard Sherman's going to try to do what he can. But usually once the explosion breaks free, like say it's a quick slant, or a post route and he breaks out like that and hits top end speed, he's wide open every single time unless it's zone coverage where they have the safety for help. But even then, he can still blow past both guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what I love about, Tyreek and the way he plays is exactly what you just said is, you want to zone him up, good luck, man. You want to go man-to-man, good luck on that too. And I think that's one to where you look at, the 49ers, secondary, guys like Richard Sherman, which understand Richard Sherman is one of the best in the game. And I love everything about what he does, how he goes about his business. Like, that's a guy that you want on your team, right? But Tyreek Hill, man, like, he's so fast and he's so, quote unquote small. He's not small. He's a thick dude. But when you have a bigger style, set of corners, a larger style of safeties, Tyreek Hill can really give you problems because exactly what you just said. Like, this guy can take it to the house seemingly at any moment, and not only, in the air. I mean, Tyreek Hill essentially can play running back for this team. We've seen what they've done with, end arounds, plays like that to where, Tyreek could get right there beside Patrick Mahomes and boom, like all he needs is one step and good luck, man. Like the cheetah can go. It's just going to be great. Like I cannot wait to see how it goes about, I even like, in this game, the coin toss, right? So whoever wins, like you taking ball first, you deferring, how are you going to go about it? Because I'll give you a stat real quick. We played 53 what'd you say?
I was saying, go ahead by all means for the stat.
Yeah. I was going to say we've had 53 Super Bowls. All right, 43 of them, the team winning at halftime has won the game. 43, right? I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but what it goes to show you is, it's just a tough game. So if you go out and say, all right, to the Chiefs, you're like, all right, give me the ball. Like we're going to score. We're going to do our thing. To the 49ers, are you going to trust your run game? Are you going on defense first instead of zone? I cannot wait to watch every single little thing about how these guys go about it. It's going to be great.
Oh, most definitely, man. Just going off of that, it just seems like you said, when you mentioned Tyreek Hill running the ball and him, like you're saying, good luck on zone or man coverage, that's how much of a threat this guy is. And then just going off the AFC Championship game, when they were on the goal line, they did a quick jet sweep. Tyreek Hill, like you saw, there was 2 linebackers and maybe a corner and safety, so really 4 defenders that had him in the angle, and he still blew right past all of them into the end zone. That was insane. I've just seen him do that. It just basically brought up a lot of attention right there because.
Keep going. Sorry, I interrupted you. Yeah, keep going.
Oh, no, you good. I was going to say, and then what's crazy about that is he mentioned this a couple of days ago, maybe it was a day or 2 days ago, he mentioned according to Bleacher Report, that he's going to try out or he's interested in trying out for the Olympics. I mean, I don't blame him. He did run track. He's a track star. He was a track star at junior college and in college and in high school, obviously. This guy's been fast his whole life, and he goes into the NFL and is just dominant. So that shows you how incredible track speed is compared to everybody else on the football field.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And again, I'll say this, living here in Nashville, I've watched this Titans team. I've watched them for 15 years. But, obviously, this year, saw every little, everything about every game that they played. And, obviously Derrick Henry was, the focus, especially, getting to the playoffs, and he was beasting, right? But what nobody talked about was the Titans defense was really the tone setters of this team from the beginning of the year all the way to the end. And, they go to the playoffs, they go to New England, between going to New England and going to Baltimore, winning both games on the road, you go against Brady and Lamar Jackson, combined, those 2 quarterbacks only put up 2 touchdowns and neither team scored more than 14 points. So where I'm going with that is that this defense is stout, right, in Tennessee, and they go up against, like you just said, with linebackers who are fast, who can play. This defense can play. And Tyreek Hill was running all over the field, and Patrick Mahomes too. So it goes to show, how fast this team is in the Chiefs, how good they are offensively. They're phenomenal, man. There's a reason why they're in the Super Bowl.
Exactly, and then they have so much speed. Not only Tyreek Hill, but DeMarcus Robinson also runs a high 4.2, low 4.3. You also have Sammy Watkins and Mecole Hardman, who's just a rookie. These guys are all explosive, and then it's not just on their side, especially on the 49ers too. You have a lot of, Emmanuel Sanders being a veteran coming out of Denver, getting traded, mid-season. It's just seen that happen and then the way that it just seems like both teams, offensively and defensively, it seems like the camaraderie is just, it seems like there's no match when you compare the camaraderie between other teams, compare these 2 teams. It's just incredible. And then you mentioned Titans too. They, like you said, their defense definitely did lead them to the point where they were at. They had to shut down, obviously, Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady, in which they did. And so, and to see the Chiefs emerge past them tells you how dominant this team is. And then, I wanted to bring this up earlier about Mahomes. So this is nothing new to him. And this is, obviously